Hello everyone. This short video is meant to help you with the assignments for week 4. So this week, if we take a look at the overview page, much of what we're doing this week is similar to what we've been doing over the last couple of weeks. However, there is a pretty big difference this week compared to the last few weeks. And so let's go ahead and take a look at the overview page to get a sense of what's going on and to see some of the differences. So the first thing that we want to recognize is that we do have 2 deadlines here this week instead of just our usual one. We still have the Sunday deadline as usual, and as usual, the deadline is for our discussion assignment for the week, discussion assignment week 4. So that will be due this Sunday. However, we also have an additional assignment due this week, as the first deadline for our formal essay, the consumer artifact analysis essay, is due here this week. And I say this week knowing really that this is due next week, mid-week next week. So if we take a look, the rough draft for the consumer artifact analysis essay will be due next Wednesday by midnight, September 15th. So again, a little bit unusual that we have 2 deadlines. And the idea here is really just to allow us to get the most out of our discussion assignment, stay focused on that assignment, and that work that we do for the discussion assignment will then inform your work for the rough draft. And so having that due first, focusing on that, getting that work done, turned in on Sunday, and then you have a few days before the rough draft is due to take the stuff that you learned coming out of the discussion assignment and directly apply it to writing that rough draft. It just spreads things out a little bit, and it also gives you a little more time to get that rough draft done by the deadline. As usual, you have plenty of support here this week to help you out with these assignments. I'm around. You can email me at any time during the week. And as I've said, and it also says here, that I'll get back to you within 24 hours, usually quite a bit sooner, sometime this week. So if you got a question or a concern, you can always send me an email either through our inbox over here in the Canvas site or through NPC's Gmail service, and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. You can also set up an appointment with me through Zoom during one of our office hours, Tuesday and Wednesday, 9 o'clock to 11:30. Just send me an email and we can set up a time and day that works for you. Now, if these dates and times during our office hours don't work for you, they conflict with other parts of your schedule, again, reach out to me and maybe we can find another time to meet and to discuss the assignments or to get some help with a specific assignment. You also have the Reading and Writing Center available to you to help you with your assignments. Now keep in mind that the Reading and Writing Center can help you with any reading and writing assignment for any class at MPC, free of charge. All you have to do is sign up for what's called English 400. It is technically a class, though it is a 0-unit class. It costs no money, and there is no assignments for that class. It really is just to give you access to the resources of the Reading and Writing Center. It's a way for the college to track how many students use the center, and so they continue to get funded. And so the Reading and Writing Center has lots of resources available for you. They have in-person support as well as online support. So the in-person support can be found, I should say, on the first floor of the LTC, the library, and that can be found by walking into the main entrance of the library and heading down the staircase to the left just after you enter the library. Technically, you enter in the second floor, so to find the Reading and Writing Center, you have to go down a flight of stairs to the first floor. And again, both in-person and online support, they can help you with your discussion assignment, with any part of the writing process. You can have a conference with either a faculty or a specialist in the Reading and Writing Center, either virtually or in person, or you could even send them your paper, and they will take a look at it, provide some feedback, and send it back to you. And again, this is done through their online portal, WC Online, which can be found on your Lobos apps page. So if we take a look further down, assignment number 1 is pretty similar to what we've done over the last couple of weeks. I'm asking you to take a look at a very short article in our Signs of Life textbook called The Politics of the Hoodie. It really does a good job of giving us something like a consumer artifact analysis essay focused on the consumer artifact of the hoodie. So take a look at this essay for the reading for this week. Beyond that, I also provide several pages within this module on various aspects of writing an effective essay as we gear up to write our first draft. And so take a look at these several pages here in the weekly module, focused on different kinds of paragraphs and what their functions are and how to effectively write them, as well as how to and when to and why to bring in outside sources. And then also a page that gives you a bunch of sample theses from past classes as a way to help you write this really important sentence for your essay here this week. So if we take a look at assignment number 2, this is normally where we would find our writing process assignment for the week. So that step of the process for this week that's focused on the consumer artifact analysis essay. And so this week, it's a little bit different in that the writing process is broken up into 2 discrete steps for this week. And here is the first step, and that is to construct an informal outline. And so this is the step that we take just before we sit down to write the rough draft, where we take everything we've done up until this point, whether it's research, pre-writing, thinking, anything that we've done up until this point for the writing process, for this paper, and we try to organize it and write it down into an informal outline. And this outline allows us to look at our ideas in an essay structure. It's a linear structure. It allows us to see what we have and also what we still need in terms of ideas or evidence. And it also allows us to see our ideas, how they would lay out in terms of organization. So starting to think about, what's the most effective discussion or idea to focus on first in your paper, second, third, etc. So don't skip this really important step of the process. Putting a little bit of time into constructing an informal outline will help you along the way. It will help you really with that first draft that you're going to write towards the end of the week and into early next week. But again, also embrace the idea of the informality of this outline, and we'll talk more about that when we get to the module page on the outline. But an informal outline is not meant to have everything you're going to have in your paper. It's just meant to give you the rough strokes, the backbone of your paper. So that way it can help guide you when you sit down to write your first draft. So we take a look at assignment number 3. On a module page this week, I have a number of past consumer artifact analysis essays. Able to see just how others tackled this particular assignment, and that there's many ways to be effective when approaching this particular assignment. So take a look at some of these model essays. I think you will find that it's worth your while, especially right before you sit down to write your rough draft. And so assignment number 4 is the discussion assignment for the week. Again, this will be due on Sunday. And if you take a look at the prompts, it's very similar to what we've seen in the past, where the prompts of the discussion assignment is meant to capture, demonstrate what you've done with the other assignments for the week, whether it's a reading assignment or the writing process assignment. In this case, it's both how you responded to politics of the hoodie, and then also some work with the sample student, as well as sharing with us the first version of your thesis, what we call the tentative or working thesis. and it just allows you to get some feedback from your classmates and me on this most important sentence of your paper. And then finally, the very last assignment for the week is to finish up the writing process for the week, and that is to write your rough draft of the consumer artifact analysis essay. And again, this rough draft will be due on Wednesday of next week, and there will be a page at the end of our weekly module to submit this paper. And again, this is a rough draft, and as such, you have some requirements, but in terms of the draft, but the requirements aren't as big as the final draft. So it does have, for example, a word count, but it's at 850. And like it says here, I do expect you to have some outside sources with those in-text citations as part of that requirement, but you do not have to include a works cited page for the rough draft. You'll be doing this for the final draft, and we'll talk more about the works cited page next week. However, keep in mind this last bullet here. If you do not submit a rough draft, your grade for the final draft will drop a full grade. So it's a pretty steep consequence to miss the rough draft deadline, and it really is meant to push you to get something down on paper by this deadline so that you have a week to work on it, to make it stronger, more effective, to edit it, to cite it, to make sure your formatting is correct, and maybe even most importantly, to get some feedback on this draft from your classmates, from the Reading and Writing Center, and from myself if you would like. All right, so again, these were the assignments for week 4. Like I said, a little bit different than what we've been doing over the last couple days, but not that much different. So if you've got any other questions, feel free to email me and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. All right, everyone, good luck this week.